G'day, how you going? I'm Ian Harris from Australia. Welcome to my video. Today we're going to do a highway, bit like travelling down a highway with the distance ahead of us and maybe the sunset and some hills and greenery in front of that, all right? Or not greenery, but shrubs or, you know, that sort of stuff that lives out on the land. Yeah, got some sizes up there on the canvas there, centimetres and inches of course, and also colours running up the screen for you there like that. Look at them go, all right? Now, while they're going up, this is where I like to tell you to watch the whole video if you're a beginner and you know what's up ahead and what mistakes you don't want to make and how you want to make it your way, all right? Because all tutorials are an idea of something you can paint, and you can paint it your way then. If you want to do it exact, that's okay as well. All right, so I'm excited about this one. Get on over here and let's get right into this, all right? Now what I've done here, I've got the horizon line and I've got my highway mapped in there. I want about this much of an opening at the end there, okay? I don't want it going to a point. And then I've just brought it out to where I want it to go using a ruler. Now the horizon line, you virtually stand on the road, that's your eyesight. If that horizon line's way up there, it's going to look like you're standing on a ladder looking at the horizon line, all right? So if it's a perspective of where you're standing, keep the horizon line lower if you can, all right? Because you could still fit a lot of stuff in here. And we're going to do a beautiful sky there as well. Okay, I'm going to condition the sky half with the student craft paint, and as normal, 90% of my paintings start off with craft paint and clear medium retarder. Now I've noticed a lot of people are having trouble, or not a lot, but I've noticed some people having trouble with blending in my art page or my art group page there, okay? Now there are ways to blend and there are ways not to blend with acrylic. Now I use the clear medium retarder with a flow white, and I've conditioned my canvas board. Watch how easy it is. I've got a reasonable size brush here as well. I'm not using a small 1/2 inch brush, and I'm getting that on there and brushing it into the tooth. Now this is how easy it is, okay? That's got retarder in it, and I'm just stroking out the brush stroke so it looks a bit neat. And if you're having trouble with blending, well, learn how to blend before you try and blend into a painting, and start off on smaller canvases, because if you're trying a big canvas with a lot of blending, you're going to have a trouble as well. Down here I'm picking up my Indian yellow. I'm loving this for me sunsets. I've got permanent alizarin and I've got phthalo blue as well. They're going to be the sky colours. Okay, you do need a slow drying medium in your acrylics if you want to blend and get that look. If you're not using it, you'll get a brush stroke look. This is clear retarder mixed with flow white. It's there, it's wet. Now I've just picked up me yellow. I'm going to start at the bottom and I'll just push it to the top. See, that's already gradient like that already. No mucking around putting your brush in and out of water or anything. See what that's done? Okay, I'm having a sunset all across the horizon. I don't want it just here, okay? That's it, that's how easy that was. Learn these procedures and practice them if you love the way this is gonna come out, all right? Now I've got to clean that brush. And now that it's clean, I'm picking up the permanent alizarin. Now the white on the board, which is this one here with the retarder, that's already toning these down a little bit. They're not so loud, because any colours, like mainly a red or a yellow, you need a white base under there. If you do not have a white base under there, even if it's a good quality paint, it's not going to show its full luster. And if you've got a very bad or cheap paint, it's going to be even worse. So I want to get this about halfway here. I'm putting it on, and now I want to get this crinkled in with that yellow there. I'm sort of brushes this way, and when I'm coming to where it's joining, I'm sort of getting it this way. Whether you saw that or not, I don't know, but I'm telling you anyway. So we've got these red slices coming into the yellow, and then we're going to do the same with the red and the blue to get the slices in. All right, that's looking good. Now, this is full of paint, but I'm going to only use the very tip, lightly, and just see how easy that gradient happened. Very easy. Now, I'll just get, I'm not worried about that hard edge. If that had no clear medium retarder in it, that'll be drying very easily and it'll show. And if you go and wet it, you're going to get all these weird marks in your paint if you've got a bad quality one. Now I've got to clean this brush again, and picking up my phthalo blue on this brush. Now this is just a cheap synthetic brush. It's a 50mm or a 2-inch brush. All right. Simple colours, simple brush, simple procedure for a non-snot sky. Now this will be the blue at the top. See the white on there? If this had no white on the canvas, it'll be this colour blue all over, and it'll be rather hard to achieve colours you want with no medium under there. So that white, see, the more you stroke it with the brush, it massages things together. I'm starting at the top, and I'm going to bring that to the red now. I'm not worried if it hits the red, because the red and the blue are going to make some purpley sunset colours. I don't want to have too much of a 3-layered band there, so I'm going to just mix it up like that as well. Look at that hair there. Get that out of there. Okay, that's done. Now I'm just going to stroke it left and right. I don't want to hit the yellow with this green. I don't want to hit the yellow with this blue. All right, now what I'm going to do is grab a blending brush and finish that off here, and I want to blend it. Get yourself a paper towel roll or something like that to wipe all the build-up. I want to blend these blue colours first. Wipe the brush. Just look at all that that's coming off it. You don't want to keep moving that around your board. Okay. The blue is very strong, but the blue into that alizarin crimson has made sort of a purple. That's fine by me. Now we want to pick up another blending brush and blend maybe this together. Give it some turmoil, just so we're losing the 3-band look. And see, I'm still got time to move this paint. What the hell's there? Something on the side there. I've still got time to move this paint and blend it because of the retarder that's in the white that I put on there in the beginning, okay? That's all right. See, I'm happy with that. That red could have been a bit more red, but I'll live with that, all right? Now we want to get a glare for the sun. So to get the glare of the sun, I'm using my appropriate size round pouncer or stippler. I'm just picking up the rest of this flow white. Oh, I feel there's probably not enough there. I'm not going to worry about putting any more retarder with it, but I'll get some more there, because this one spreads easier than the titanium white, I find. Okay, it's a softer body. There's me road. So I want the main sun a bit higher, and I'm going to now slowly dance this around like that. Okay, I've done that. I'm patting it now, patting it into here with the sponge, patting it. Now I'm going to pick up a blending brush just to sort this nonsense out up here. So I've cleaned all them blending brushes I was using for the top half. I'm using this one, and I want to see here. Now everything's still wet. That's acrylic, but it's still wet. I've turned the camera off. I've gone backwards and forwards to the sink. I've been moving the camera around. So a lot of time's gone by, and look at this. That, I'm just barely touching it. See what's hitting the brush there? This is how you blend. You can just watch this bit of this tutorial if you want, just to learn how to blend. Now see all these bubbles here? It's not a bad looking painting for a beginner, but just knowing to sit those bubbles down, I'm stamping it on and off, killing those bubbles, giving it a real softer, quite professional, proud look on there. All right, we'll get onto the clouds. Just in case I need these colours, I'm going to put some water on them just like that, so they won't skin up. Now, I've got titanium white out of the tube and my preferred brush to stamp on clouds. You don't want to rub them in, you want to stamp them on. And this is where you can look at the sky and, okay, there's paint here, paint there. You can hide joins with this, all sorts. So I want to have longer clouds. These ones here will be quite big. So give your cloud, I'm stamping it, give your cloud the shape you want. There we go, we've got blues and reds already in there, okay. Now we're going to get our blending brush, paper towel. I've cleaned that brush once again, and I want to blend from just under the top there down and tickle the tops. So let's push that out there. See that? Look at that. It's wet, retarded and blendable. See there? And it's making turmoil. That turmoil is what you want in your clouds as well. So it's turmoiling all this reds and blues to create the shadow and the depth of the cloud. It's just not a flat white cloud onto the sky there. We can bring that down. Look at that. It's got beautiful turmoil. And if anything, like this is sort of going up there, try and keep it straight, because everything to the horizon is straight. Now see the top, very lightly, I'm just tickling them with some bits of turmoil if I feel. Fill in that bit of a big gap there where they look like big arms or something. And there's a beautiful turmoily cloud. Look at that. Very easy to do. I feel here I might want some gap fillers, so I'm just going to do that. Maybe that. See, I've just put it on. It's nothing. And maybe there. These are gap fillers. I'll show you what I mean. I've just done that any old way. See how easy that was? And I'm doing it like that just to show you, if you practice, you can do stuff like this. Now these are like fluff, cotton ball bits in the sky, so there's no bottom or top to these. These are just that fluff. And get used to adding these to your clouds. See that? You know how you get these little clouds in the sky in between the big particular shapes? These are, I'm calling them gap fillers because they fill in the gap. Just like that. So easy. And this blue, it's still wet. If that had no retarder in it, I would not be able to blend like this. It just would not happen. And this is how you can get clouds with oil paints. Theirs stay wet for months and they can get beautiful clouds. So with acrylics, there we go. We're getting that to happen. Now it's important, if you're going to add more clouds, I'm using the same brush, but I've cleaned it. You don't want to contaminate this pile of white paint here that you're using for your clouds. Once you contaminate that and you start rushing things, everything turns to snot. Just remember, if you feel like you're starting to rush your painting, stop and do something different. Put it down. There's no rush or time limit for a painting. I know I'm going to have trees and that there, so I want maybe something here now. I'm going to create the top of the cloud. I'm giving it, see all this that I'm doing here, right here? That's body. I call it body. Giving it body, creating the top off the painting, because the cloud, if anything's going there. All right, that's a weird shape. Body, so you've put the body on there. Look at it, looks like nonsense, doesn't it? And then we'll just, now if anything, I'm going to keep this level here and here in my process of blending. Turmoil, bits of levelness, wipe the brush. Now it's going to turn into a cloud. We've got bits of blue there, we've got bits of red. Give it the turmoil. Oh, look at that. I'm just getting rid of those lines there. Now I want the bottom level with the horizon line. See there? I've leveled this up. Now I want to tickle the tops just a little bit because they're a bit too strokey there for me. Sometimes there's not a lot of work in a good cloud. Okay, that's it. That'll do. Hang on, I don't like here. That'll do. Now you can just put little bits in front there like this. Watch, I've got a line here now. That's the top. The top, and give it a bit of body coming down. And we're only blending the bottom of that line we put there. You want that hard white top area staying there. Okay. This is just as an example what you can add with your clouds. Stretch them. All right, this is the lower part of the sky. I've got some more white and I'm just putting long clouds here now. It's just using the fan brush. The higher ones will be a bit bigger than the lower ones, but these are all long, which are the nimbus stratus clouds, way in the distance there. See, some of them will be paler than others. Some of it can come in front of that sun glare there as well, and it's just... So I'm going to have trees here, so don't get too carried away. How's that looking? Reasonable. Get some here. There we go. See how easy that was? Not that keen on this one here, but that's it. Okay, we get on to the next bit. Now that is a simple sunset or a sunrise cloud. Now if you like that, you've seen how easy it was. Practice that. If only you use this tutorial just for your sky's sake, okay? And you can use that in any of your paintings. And you can use different yellows or different reds or blues and see what comes up for you. You experiment with your art, you learn from your art, and your art is your journey. All right, I'm just getting rid of any thick build-up paint here with that brush, and I want to dry that. That's all the blending done. I want to dry where the distant hills, mountains, trees, whatever you're going to have, whatever subject you're going to have, is going to sit on top of that sky colour without mudding up, okay? Everything's dry up there, so this phthalo blue, see how I sprayed water on it earlier? It's still wet, it hasn't skinned up. I've got simple forest green, and I want a darker value of forest green, so I'm using some of the phthalo blue. Now the sun is behind this foliage, it's not over the top or in front of it shining highlights on there. So this is why it's going to be darker. I'm just looking at that and I think I've got some dioxazine purple. I think this will get it a bit darker. I was trying to remember, I did another video where I used these colours. Now a bit of dioxazine purple into that green. Yeah, so bugger the blue. Just get your forest green and mix a pile up with dioxazine purple. Not too much. You want to see the dark green still. And I'm using this filbert brush, it makes beautiful foliage. And we want to mix up some mountains for behind the foliage as well. So we've got our Indian yellow, we're not going to need too much for this I hope, and our permanent alizarin. So we want to make up a very dull colour of this, pretty much an orange. Very pale in the distance. Alright, so we've got our mountain and our foliage colour. So we know our road is about here somewhere, about there somewhere. So we don't want to go in more than that. These mountains are behind, they're in the distance, and work out how high you want them. If you want some really nice long peaks like that, and come off your painting. Alright, and just bring it along there. These are not detailed, these are just there. Now we want to get all that mapped in. I'm just going to wipe a bit of that build-up paint off there so I can get rid of these thick ridges of paint. And sometimes your brush strokes, you can make valleys and detail in your distant mountains just by the way you pull it. I'll do one on the other side. Now I've blow dried that because now I want to put the bushes in front. And using the same brush, I've got my green mixed with the Doxine purple. And we can start at the very opening there and bring this in front of your mountain. Now that mountain is optional. You could put it there or you don't have to put it there. It's totally up to you, all right? But this is the first bit of the trees. Keep the bottom of them level, like here. Leave some air in the top as you get to the edge. You can come right up higher if you like. I'll see it's picking up that wet paint on the side of my canvas there. Something I've got to be careful of all the time. Now this is just getting the shape here, then I'll put a bit more detail into these, but they're going to be on the darker side. And that's why I've dried everything so as it's not mudding up. This is like a dark green. Now we've mapped that in with the dark colour, leave it, because now we're going to put the dirt colour here on the side of the road, and the last object will be the road on top of that. So we've got our permanent alizarin here, and I want to create, so I'll get a bit of the Indian yellow in there using the colours that we've got. So that was our distant mountain. This is just a different red, desert red. Put some more Indian yellow in there. It's a bit too red. I want to sort of create an orangey desert colour if I can, but just by using the colours we're using on our board here, that's fine. That's the colour I want. Roughly where my road is, I'm not worried about the line too much because I'm going to make that nice and sharp when I actually put the road on. I've dried this, I think I said, yes. Okay, and we want to just get this on there now and start putting some finesse in your layout here, like getting the brush strokes out. And if anything, stroke them this way like that, because if you're going to have any laying shadows, you can pull the shadows as well. You're not going to have brush strokes fighting each other. Now we've just pretty much got that, and we can grab some yellow just like that, see? And let's, no, it's a very pale pigment, that yellow, so I'll pick up, let's see what the white does. Oh no, that's too white. No, don't do that. I wanted to get some other colours in there. And I'll do the same on the other side, but I'll have the camera off when I do that because you know what I'm doing. But there's our ground. We're going to get the bottom of those trees back later, so don't worry about that where it's meeting here. Don't worry about that, so long as you've got a nice desert ground there. Now once you finish the desert ground, give it a dry, mainly where the bottom of that dark bush line is, so we can marry that to the ground a lot decent looking. Okay, now we're just grabbing that colour again and we're going to prounce that over the ground there, okay? There we go. I'm just pulling that way. If anything, it's some shadow there. Just pull the bottom of that back into there like that. That's better. And I'll do the same for the other side. So we're just putting it back onto our ground, so to speak. Get some done here. Putting it back on and then slowly pulling it into the shadow of the ground. Okay, we don't want to touch that green anymore. I want to get some of the straight forest green, starting from the middle, and I want to now put the green over this black or the darker colour that we've created. Go a little bit above that darker colour and just create treetops, umbrella shapes coming down into your shadow. You might not see this just yet, but we'll put the slightest bit of yellow light in there, just so you'll see. So grab just the slightest bit. There we go, look at that. Because this, what I'm mixing now, is going to highlight that a little bit, but just subtle. You don't want it too bright because the sun's behind. And that green that I've already put on, this middle bit you can probably go really brighter and let it radiate out to less. Now, this is, let them all bow into the middle of the painting, and you're pretty much going like that. And you should be, let me have a look in the camera, should be able to see that. Okay, we'll get down this side. This side's going to bow from this side, so tracing them into the middle. Umbrella shapes all falling into the right hand side to the centre of the painting. Now you might have your own design of foliage, use whatever you like. For here, this is just an example of what you can do, and this is just hovering into the shadow there, and then we're going to use that colour here where we mixed up the yellow. So I'll finish with all that green, so I'll mix up a lighter value of this now, a brighter value, a lighter value, a brighter value. Now I've blow dried everything, and I want to get this now and highlight everything that we just put on there. Dribble it into those greens, and this is where you make the actual shape of your bush. So if you watch what I do here, I've pretty much got that there. I'm going to go at the top, leave that side dark, and the left hand side I'll lighten up, because that's the way the light's hitting all these shrubs. And some of it, that's in front again. Trace it down. Leave big gaps of dark colours there. But it's nice, it looks good in real life, I'm happy with it. And I will do the same, of course, to the other side. Now, like I said before, it probably would look nice either with or without that mountain in the background. So with this side, I've gone and made it higher than the mountain, so there's no mountain on this side, just so you can see what way you would like it, with a distant mountain or not. And personally, I think this is better because the darks hitting those lights really make things pop. Now I want to highlight this side anyway, just so you can see. But you get an idea, you can either do it with the distant mountain or without. And now that I've seen this side, I think I like it without the distant mountain personally. We're going to put this colour in appropriately. So now you have an idea with the mountain or without the background mountains. Now we'll just get a little bit more yellow into that just to give it some finished highlights. Not too much though, because remember the sun's behind it. Okay, so I want to mainly concentrate in the centre, having it a bit brighter, just for the art's sake. Little touches. Leaving the blacks there as well. You've got to remember to leave the darks. Don't want that ruining things. And like before, they're all bowing in the middle, same thing. Just create your ridges and valleys within the tree canopies to get some sort of shape there. And over here you can just have some not so densely close together. Okay, just about finished. We'll add a bit more something here. Let's say a, where are we? Let's go above the horizon line. What are you doing here? I'm just adding a feature. What sort of feature is it? It's a cactus, mate. Okay, so that's fair enough. Out in the desert, Route 66 maybe this is. So use any brush you feel can get your cactus there. I'm just keeping with this filbert I got. I can get the round shape there, like that. And what is it? You know, I've never seen these cactuses in real life. We'll have something up here. I will try and get the base of it there a bit thicker. And I don't know, let's put one up here somewhere, up into the sky as well. I'm assuming these arms don't go any higher than the main trunk. So I'll get him a little bit higher there. Now I'm just wiping that brush, just wiping it, picking up some dioxine purple because I don't want black. And there's our line still. So I want to get that on the brush but wipe it off because I want a shadow scratched into the ground just like that. Okay. Hopefully that's working like a shadow. And where are we? We have, hang on. We've got something out there and just something there resembling a shadow. Does that look all right? Yeah. Now we got to get that cactus a little highlighted. So I've got just that yellow now. I'll do mainly this side here. That's wet, I haven't dried it. There we go. Yeah, that's working. I'll put it in front of that green foliage in the background there. Just around here, everything's wet. Yeah, this side here, the light's hitting all the left-hand side of my cactus there. How does that look? Look like a cactus? That does look like a cactus, boy, even though you haven't seen one. I'll bring that down and then I can put the dark back in there. Because this yellow bands, I suppose, like the pictures that I've seen, they got like yellow green. Yeah, there we go. I'm just picking up some cadmium yellow medium because the light, it's too opaque and it's more of a tint where the medium is pretty much a yellow colour. And then I can probably get, because I lost pretty much all my yellow there, so I'll put this back, caboodle bang boom, down here again, stop to there, back to there, pick up some more on the brush. And there's our cactus with the light hitting it. Well, I hope that looks like a cactus. Forgive me if it doesn't. I had a little bit of fun doing that, so I will put one on this side as well, on the other side of the painting. So we'll probably start there. Whereabouts? About here maybe. So I'm going to assume we have a main trunk of our cacti. We have cactuses here, but not these type. These are real American type of cactus. I've never seen these ones here, and if we do have them here, well, I haven't been far enough to see them. This is going to have a shadow on it as well. But see, you want the shadow running this way, not down there. Okay, let's get this one finished. I want to get the height here. So it's this side now. So the sun's on this side of this cactus. There. All the way down pretty much the right hand side, except for where the branches stick out. Wipe the brush, load her up. And the inside of this one. There we go. Just putting something just to break up this boredom here. So I've done one there. I'm just putting a, let's say, a bush further back with the dark colour, just making the shape of it and the bottom level with the painting. I've given them both a bit of a dry, and I'll just put their foliage in there. Shrubs, bush, something there. That's it. Leave the shadow underneath. And I want to give that some shadow as well. The shadows make things look a bit more real from a painting. And then we're ready to put the road in. So he's got a shadow there. The shadow on this cactus looks a bit diculated as well. I'll fix that up so it doesn't look out of whack. That's all right. I'm happy with that. Now we'll put the road in. I've dried everything here because I'm going to get the tape here just so I get a beautiful sharp line. Okay, I've put my masking tape on there. It's a low tacking tape just for the road. We get a nice sharp edge. I'm going to use a flat brush. And like I said before, there's no rush in your art. So this is where I'm going to have a big coffee, have a mouthful of my coffee. Give me the thumbs up and check the links in the description below. Quite a few there. All right, so I'm going to use a flat brush, something I can get all this on there. And I'm just going to do a grey, blackish sort of road with the white lines in there, all right? So I'm getting some values of road here. So I've got a grey here, which is a carbon grey. And I want to mix some of that with some black just to get, because I don't want the road to be pure black. I want it to gradient down from a dark grey to a light grey. So that's pretty much the grey I'm looking for there. Oh, I didn't mix up enough. I'll put some impasto there. What's impasto? Oh, it's just this stuff I've got in a container here. It's a medium impasto and it increases the volume of the paint, I feel. Really? Yeah, well watch, I'll give it a go. I'll put some of this there and I want about that much of that colour paint. So I'm going to put it in there now and I've just created that same colour but in more quantity. And we'll get it mapped in there while it's still wet, right? Get your strokes going all into the centre of the road up there ahead. So now we'll put our strokes all that way. Yay. All that way and they'll just look beautiful. There we go. What are you going to do next? Well, I'm going to get a bit more lighter value and then a brighter value up there. So I've just wiped that brush on a cloth, a towel, and I'm picking up the toning grey now out of a tube, or mix up your own greys. And we want to just start from there and bring it into here. Try not to contaminate this bit here first as you get into the darker grey. Paint it to the darker grey, like so. Pretty easy. Wipe your brush so you can stroke those out there. Now I'm going to grab a scrumbling brush. This is all dry, rubbery, so I'm going to scrumble those together now just so the transition of the two colours is a gradient softer. There we go. Something like that. See, when they're wet they don't do it as well. When they're a bit rubbery and dry they work out all right. Now I want to just go like that, keeping it to the, there we go, that's all right. Beautiful. There we go. We can pull the tape off that and see what is possessed underneath. Now this is why I used a low tack tape. Oh, I think I pushed it on a bit hard because if it was a very strong tape it'd be pulling my paint off by now. I blow dried it. Alright, now this is important to get this road looking the best. I've just come off the dark edge of the road in a bit here and board it up finer there. Now see where these two bits of tapes meet? That's our vanishing point, all right? So using road tack again, I just want that thin white line on the side of the road, which is there, and that's going to pretty much go to the vanishing point up there. Okay, we got one there. Grabbing your white paint, I'm using titanium white, and I'm just using a small flat just so I can get it on the side and laying it on like that. This is just a very easy way to get that road line on there without it being crooked as buggery, you know. So we've got to do one side at a time because I can't get this one on with the tape there, obviously. So we've got the bit up the end there, gone thinner than the bit in the foreground here. Okay, we'll take this one off. Ooh, I pushed a bit hard there. I've got a bit of repair to do, but that's okay. Take that off. Grab another piece of tape. Is that filming? Yes. Now what I want to do, hear that noise? I just rubbed it against my cloth material. And the same on this side. Get to the horizon line there. And then brush him on. And then we'll pull this tape off and then we'll have some beautiful white highway lines. Okay. Yes, look at that. Nice. See, I brought it in off the edge of the road a bit. Don't take it right to the edge. You want that bit of grey on the outer side there, okay? And that looks great. Put the centre line in. Okay, I've put a bit across the horizon line there. And we'll get two pieces down, just eye off the middle of your road there. I'm just going to eye it off. And one for the other side. For the thickness of our lines. So the distance one, see I'm sort of giving it wider at this end here. Then we're going to grab that white paint again. And I'll have one in the distance here, so I'll just come back from the end. I don't want it right on the end. And maybe I'm brushing this across so we get the end there nice and straight. So one there, and probably one in the foreground here. So probably about, I'm coming across to get the line straight there. Just off the painting here. Now I can go up. And we've just got some decent highway lines, lane lines, whatever you call them. Alright, I'm ready to sign it. I've just whacked in a couple of just rocks with some casting shadows as well. This one's not quite, there we go. So that's the rock, and you can distinguish the shadow now. That'll do. Okay, we'll get a nice little signature here because I don't want to destroy too much of the painting, so I might put it up here. And this is where you can check out the links in the description below. Support my content, see what art's available for sale. All my tutorial paintings are done at a quality where they're good enough to purchase as a painting. I don't throw them away. And comment below if you want to see me do anything that'll fit within my subject of my channel here. Let's whack a frame on that. All right. There we go, a bit of a desert scene, road. How's that look? Get you out of the way. A little miniature I did up there a while back. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, that's not too bad. The frame sets it off. We've just got a highway going into the sunset, maybe on Route 66, anywhere it can be. We've got a beautiful sunset highway, all right? Or even a sunrise. It's important to get your shadows to make things look like they belong. All right, be sure to share, like and subscribe if it's the first time watching my channel videos here. and tell your friends if you like what I'm doing, but if you don't, you tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.